Excuse me.
What?
When's your birthday?
22nd of February.
What year?
Every year. Get out.
Welcome back. This is part 2 of 3 in the Cornetto Trilogy, the famous ice cream bar no one will ever have. Tough. And we're going to be tackling some Hot Fuzz, a classic buddy cop movie with, again, the dual power of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, about an expert cop
Police Constable Nicholas Angel,
who's basically demoted after he was stabbed by Saint Nick. Funny. And he has now moved to this deluded town that just seems weird. He seems fine with it and goes along, but then things take a turn for the worst. Yeah. When I covered Shaun of the Dead, I mentioned how the characters of Pegg and Frost were, and the increasingly amounts of the Dead movies there were. Christ. Some of the traits are different, and some are the same. Frost also plays a cop named Danny Butterman, and you'd think he'd be a little more serious. Actually, you know what? I take that back, because there's a lot of cop movies out there where they're idiots. Well, Frost's character Danny is no different from Ed. He's still like a 10-year-old kid in a grown-ass man's body, except this time he can operate a fucking gun and trick people into believing he could cut his eye out with a fork. Pegg's character, on the other hand, Nicholas, is serious as serious can be in the whole trilogy. He was a bit serious in Shaun of the Dead, but he was still goofy and made a lot of poor choices, like constantly taking his girlfriend Liz to the Winchester, getting drunk after Liz broke up with him at the Winchester, taking everyone during the apocalypse to the Winchester, and going to the Winchester. But here, Pegg means business, and he delivers good business against James Bond, Timothy Dalton, who he feels is responsible for these horrific accidents that happen in the small town. Oh, jeez, man. People get killed left and right in this town. This film also has a great deal of action, which you would expect in a cop movie, and boy, is there ever action and gore in this movie. The friendship of Pegg and Frost is once again shown in great heartwarming fashion. Unlike Shaun of the Dead, where they're already friends, they're not really fond of one another at first until Angel is forced to partner up with Danny, and again, the chemistry between the two characters is brilliant. Frost's character is still like Ed, except he's a cop, and Pegg's character is hell of a lot more serious, except this time he's a cop, and they have to overcome a breakout in their small town with murder, fights, and chases, except this time they're both cops. All this because of a Village of the Year award. Yeah, this all happens because anyone who says bad things about their town jeopardizes their chances of winning a Village of the Year award. Wow. All this leads to a great finale, no less, and even though Angel loved his previous estate in London, he decides to stay in Sandford with his best friend Danny because his wife was a bitch. And this movie delivers what is a great installment to the Cornetto Trilogy. The only thing missing in this town of Sandford was the Winchester, because that's where everyone loves to go, the Winchester. They should have gone to the Winchester. Why don't they just build the Winchester? Why the fuck? Anyway, we move on to The World's End.
I feel like I should say something smart.
you don't have to say anything at all.